4 or 5 decades, the word remained unspoken. On the day a security policeman's heart was broken, Fish received the pup from the Lone Star State, who protected Air Force warriors from a sinister fate. Rowdy was fearless with a heart so pure, the mission to defend and keep all of us secure.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Diamond Bob Perro welcoming you to our newest podcast, and we'll be talking about a few things that are current right now, and just wanted to let you know that that song is something I wrote with the help of Danny Hall, and it's called Ode to Canine Rowdy, and it's for all the canines that were served this country. Okay, so let's get right to it. So what I would like to talk about first is for about 2 years, I was trying to get travel to the hospitals or the clinics via the VA transport called Journey Transport here in Sacramento. Well, I couldn't figure out how to do it, but now that I've done it and I use it, I want to tell you right now, it is really helpful for not only me, but my wife. She don't have to leave her job because she works at home and take me to the clinics or the hospital or bring me back, because this Journey Transport will do it. And in investigating this, I talked to people on the East Coast, and it's provided there too. So I'm going to give you the information on what you need to do to get this service provided to you at your house. So you don't even, I have an electric wheelchair. I don't walk that well anymore. So they'll come and pick me up right out of my garage. I'll come on out of the garage with my electric wheelchair. They'll have the van out there. They'll drop the ramp. I go up on the ramp. They lift the ramp up, put me inside the van, take me to my appointment. And when I'm done with my appointment, I got to call them. They'll be there within a half an hour, come and pick me up, and then take me home. And it's such a relief for my wife, who doesn't really have to do that anymore. So here's what I would like to tell you. If you're a disabled veteran, what you need to do, you need to know your appointment date, time, and the facility name. You contact your primary care physician and request a round trip to your appointment. That's to your appointment and back to your house. You'll be picked up by the VA transport, and I want to tell you right now, they're friendly, they're helpful, and they love the veterans. So this is something that you really need to look into if you need to get to an appointment and you don't have anybody to take you, because like me, I was running out of people to call on to take me there, because it's, it takes away from their day. And this VA transport, that's their job. That's what they do. They like to do it, and they're very friendly about it. So wherever you are, East Coast, middle of the country, West Coast, you call your primary care and see if, and I'm sure they do, they have a transport, VA transport, that will take you to your appointments and return you home. So hopefully that helps a lot of people that really need this service. There's veterans out there that I see when I'm at the clinic, and they ask me, hey, how do you get that? How do you do that? How do you get this done? And I explain it to them. Maybe I need to get some kind of postcard or something made up, and somebody asks me, I can just hand it to them and they can do it. Okay, so that's my information on that. Hopefully it helps. And I've given this information to Tierra Whitfield, our VSO, over at the Rockland office. So she knows what to do. So now I'd like to continue on with some other things that I've been investigating. I do a lot of investigating. The reason you didn't see me here last month because I spent another 2 weeks in the hospital from fighting off good old Agent Orange again, and finally that got resolved, and I got to go tomorrow for another appointment. But that's why we haven't been here last month. I'm trying to get something. I'm trying to get something on my phone. Sorry. So now, for all you wonderful Marines out there, like Joe Morgan, and that's where we're at today. We're in we call it the Morgan. It's the studio Joe built in his house so that we can do these podcasts. And so that's where you're at today. You're in Lincoln, California, in the Morgan studio. So let's talk about the thing that's all over the news with the Camp Lejeune contaminated water. Now, there are thousands of things popping up on Facebook and all that, but I got this information. I took a picture of a flyer in the McClellan VA clinic. So here's what you want to do. If you want to call about this, you have to call 1-800-827-1000. Again, that's 1-800-827-1000. And for family health care, I guess if your wife had a miscarriage or something, I'll read some of those things in a minute. 1-866-372-1144.
So, Bob, for those of us who haven't really heard a whole lot about it, what are the dates? What exactly happened? What's the reason for this?
I think the date was 1988 and beyond. The water pipes busted and got contaminated with dioxins and that kind of stuff, and everybody was drinking it, bathing in it, whatever. And they didn't know that till years later. So now they're saying, okay, all these people are having these different diseases, and I'll talk about those in a minute. So we better do something. So that's the reason for that. Just like drinking Agent Orange, I guess.
I think it was 1953 to 1987 is the date. So if you were at Camp Lejeune from 1953 till 1987, anytime in there, you should look into this.
Yeah, I think you're right. Let me...
I've been looking it up just now while we were talking, and it says Camp Lejeune residents 53 to 87 water contamination. And so again, I don't know. I can't speak intelligently about it. I don't know a whole lot about it, but it just has a whole bunch of information about the decades of water contamination and how it affects up to 1 million. I'd say Marines, but Marines and family, I guess.
That's why you call, Joe.
Yeah,
you got to call
exactly,
those numbers
exactly.
and make sure. Because here's some of the things that I have on my list: bladder cancer, breast cancer, esophagus cancer, female infertility, hepatitis, kidney cancer, leukemia, lung cancer, miscarriages, multiple myeloma.
Yeah, I'm reading that same thing. I don't know how to pronounce it either. Myeloma? Yeah.
And I don't know what the next one, nerve.
But there's a list. If you look at, I mean, it's a long list of things. And it's like, in the one I'm reading, it shows you the percentage higher. So Marines at Camp Lejeune had a 35% higher risk of kidney cancer than the average person. 42% higher risk of, and it has the breakdown of exactly how bad it was. And then on this paper that I'm looking at, it also says they turned it off because of whatever, whoever ordered them to do it. And then who knows why they turned it back on knowing what was happening, which is always, again, I'm reading a paper from a lawyer, so I don't have any idea, the validity of any of this. Look it up yourself, but that sure doesn't sound good.
I was just going to say that sounds like something a lawyer would say.
Yeah.
Okay, now they said I have another one that says how you can claim your disabilities or what you can claim. Adult leukemia. Anemia. Man, these words. Bladder cancer, kidney cancer. This is what you can file claims on. Liver cancer, Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's disease. So here's what you have to understand. If you have gone to an outside source, let's say Kaiser or Sutter, one of these major hospitals, and you've been diagnosed with it, you have to get a diagnosis from a VA doctor. So you got to get a primary care, because what's happened in the past, sometimes the VA doesn't accept the outside hospital's diagnosis. So you have to get, even though you don't like it, and a lot of people are disgusted by it sometimes, you have to go get that on record at the VA so you can get the help you deserve. Now, we don't want to discourage anybody, but if you have something from the outside the VA, you want to make sure you get those records and have them available so you can turn that in when you do this. So we, in this program, we try to help as many veterans as we can get the benefits they need, because nobody tells you until you experience it yourself. You really can't talk on it. So I only talk on the things that I know about. And I have a few cousins that were in the Marine Corps, and they're going to look into applying for these benefits and get the health care that they need. So we need to be the advocate for not only ourselves, we have to be the advocate for all the veterans we know that will listen to this podcast and get the help that they need. Now, we know Marines are tough, and sometimes they have a hard time looking for the help, but you have to do it. You have to do it. Not only do you protect yourself, you protect your family. And so we'll see what happens in that case.
I'd like to add one other thing. I'm looking at it right now, and it shows it also, and it's not just Lejeune. I guess it's also New River Air Station, Camp Geiger. It's the whole like overreaching area. So look into it, even if you weren't on, I'm going to say Lejeune proper, but I mean, if you were at any of the outlying areas, look at it. There's a map that shows exactly what happened and where it happened. And again, you Google it, you're going to find more than you can possibly imagine of information. But just wanted to say that it's not just. Again, I'm going to say Lejeune proper. I don't know a better way to say that, but it's not just, if you're at any of those camps.
I got that map on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of different spots where Marines are stationed that, come on, everybody drinks water.
Yeah.
You got to take a shower. So you're actually, and if they knew that this was going on and did it again, that is horrible. That is a horrible thing. I mean...
Well, and I'd like to say one more time, that was on a lawyer's website, so, I'd like to hear more information before I made too much of a judgment, but it sounds pretty bad.
Yeah, that's not good. So, it's not only do we think about Vietnam, Agent Orange, we think about Iraq, Iran, Kuwait, with the smoke and that. We talk about the white water with the Navy and those type of things. This is not just one incident that happened. This happened year after year after year after year. We were all young men, 19, 18, 20, 21. And then now, me being 74, now is when I suffer. And there's no way that anybody should hesitate in giving a veteran their benefits. That's male and female, who we treat a lot worse than the males. But there's no reason why we don't, every one of us that's a veteran's been affected, why we don't abdicate for somebody else. And that's what we're doing with this podcast. We want to help. We want to give you the information. We want you to be able to get better. We want you to not get the stress off of driving to different appointments with this traffic and the way people have lost their minds driving nowadays. The transportation thing is a wonderful thing. The Camp Lejeune thing is finally well recognized now and way overdue. And it has to be taken care of and not taken lightly. And that's what happens sometimes. Some of these doctors or congressmen or senators, they've never been in a war. They never wore a uniform. They never done this. They've never woke up in the middle of the night screaming. They've never had the pain so bad that they can't walk. None of them have experienced that. So they need to pay attention to what's going on. Now, here's another thing. Those of us that are at the end of the road, there is a new program coming out in 2023 providing veterans life insurance. And I think it goes up to $40,000. So whatever you can afford, in my opinion, everybody who's a veteran should look into it. And if you can afford $10 a month and get $10,000 or $5,000 extra, get it. If you can afford $50 a month and get $50,000 or what, get it. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. When I was really sick, I checked into funeral arrangements because I want certain things done. And I'm going to tell you right now, the $10,000 I get from the VA, right now I have a policy worth $10,000 that I don't pay anything for. That money will be long gone. So I'm looking at about $20,000 to do what I want to do, because I want my family to have a nice service, and I want my family on the East Coast to have a nice service. So they'll send some of my ashes there to the funeral parlor and get all that done. But it's not that it doesn't cost anything. It's expensive. Trust me. So I want everybody to pay attention to that. In January of 2023, you should get an email. If you don't get it, when we have another podcast, we will have that information for you, the numbers to call, what you need to do, and I'll look into it myself and provide you with a lot more information that you'll need to help you get along with providing your family the monetary value for your funeral, and you can have some money left over so your wife can have it, or your family. So be looking forward to that in January, because we're going to get that done. So that's kind of what we're doing now. We have a lot of things that we look into and bring it up on the podcast, because I know there's a lot of guys out there that don't have a iPhone, or they don't have a computer. So if they listen to the podcast, at least they can get the phone numbers and make the phone calls to try and get their benefits and help. So, I don't know. You got anything else?
I think that's it for today. I think you covered a whole bunch of different stuff, so that's pretty good.
Okay. So everybody, this is Diamond Bob Perro and Joe Morgan at the Morgan, and we are signing off, and hope you have a great day. All right. Bye-bye.
The word remained unspoken on the day a security policeman heart was broken. Fish received the pup from the Lone Star State, who protected Air Force warriors from a sinister fate. Rowdy was fearless with a heart so pure, the mission to defend and keep all of us